皆さんこんにちは。中国実情のチャンネルへようこそ。いつも応援ありがとうございます。今日も興味深いお話をお届けしますので、ぜひ最後までご覧いただき、チャンネル登録と高評価をよろしくお願いしますね。ある文化系 YouTuber がアジアの国々を実際に巡りながら、そこで肌で感じた現地の文化を発信する動画を投稿しています。彼は日本と中国にそれぞれ数年ずつ滞在し、そこで得たリアルな文化体験や自分なりの考察を視聴者に向けてシェアしています。まず、彼が最初の目的として選んだのは中国でした。妻と子供を連れての渡航でしたが、その出発の様子はどこか不安げに見えました。
そして、中国での生活が3ヶ月目に突入した頃、1本の動画が投稿されます。
Now, the first thing you're not going to like, it's the pollution and quality control. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When you're in Beijing on a bad pollution day, you really shouldn't go outside. So make sure you get a mask to make sure you can breathe better. It's worth spending the money to get a good one. The ones they have here are fine, but bring the ones from home. You have a better chance of getting exactly what you want. And the other side of that is the quality control. I mean, there's good quality in China, but the quality control mechanisms aren't really there. So that's where you might have problems with the food, with the water. You do not want to drink the tap water when you're here. Don't drink the ice either. Well, eat the ice either. So that's the first thing you're not going to like, the pollution and the quality control issues. The second thing you're not going to like is, guys, there's tons of people here. There's 1.5 billion people in China. And so, like, imagine if you're in the US, there's 5 Chinese people for every 1 American. So imagine everywhere you go in the US, there's 5 people instead of 1 person. So it does get a little crowded. And with that, you're going to have some issues like getting bumped around, umbrellas bumping you in the head, all the sights when there's sun and stuff like that. Also, the thing is, waiting in line in China will drive you crazy because there's no lines. It's just a bum rush, mad rush for whether it's the train, the metro, or whatever. So that's going to be really annoying. I've known a lot of people have been really upset by that. So just be prepared for no line existence, just a mad rush for the door. Also, one of the things with all the people is there's a lot of spitting. So get ready for all kinds of stuff like that. So just be prepared for that and you'll be much better off. The thing you're not going to like about coming to China is the bargaining. Everywhere you go for the souvenirs, the silk, the pearls, all these things, you're always bargaining. The first price they give you, never pay more than 50% of that first price, okay? You have to bargain things down and it gets kind of annoying because I just want to get, a couple souvenirs. No, we got to bargain for 15 minutes, things like that. So that can get a bit annoying and take up a lot of time. And does get kind of frustrating when you're ready to just give me the price and I'll pay. Well, those prices they give you are very high. So always bargain down. Biggest issue most people have is the toilets. First off, it's a squat to pot country, so it's a hole in the ground where you're going to go to the bathroom, standing or sitting or whatever you want. It's squatting. Okay. Also, when you go in the bathroom, you're going to step up to get into the toilet area. So be careful that you don't trip and fall in like some of my friends did here. Not a pleasant thing. Also with the toilet paper is not in the stall. It's by the door when you walk in, or you do what most Chinese people do and you bring the toilet paper with you.
それから1年という月日が流れ、今度は中国で衝撃を受けたことというタイトルの動画を公開しました。
How much people spit, and it's not just two, it's two. I mean, my son Caleb, I spit the other day. He's like, Daddy, you're not doing it right. You got to do it. Two. Guys, people do spit, clear their throat because you have so much air pollution and stuff like that you will be spitting too. So just be prepared to hear a lot of kind of things on the train, on the metro, in the streets, all kinds of stuff like that. Men, women, kids, pretty girls, all kinds of people. The third thing is going to shock you is how bad the smog can be. Now, today we got a beautiful day here in Beijing, but the first 2 days we were here, it was literally brown. We couldn't see the buildings across the street. The smog, when it's bad, will shock you how bad it truly is. And in the country, if you go to the countryside, we came from Xi'an to Beijing. It's about 1,000 kilometers. It was literally smog the whole way, and you will be shocked how bad the air quality can be. But then when you get days like today, you don't notice and you don't care because it is beautiful and you can actually breathe clearly. But make sure you bring some masks from the US or wherever you're coming from, okay? Number 4 thing that's going to shock you is the food. Yes, you can get dog meat here, and yes, you can get donkey meat. Donkey meat's actually not too bad. Dog meat, I couldn't bring myself to eat. I tried, but I just couldn't do it, okay? But there are pretty crazy stuff you can have here. Mountain lion, if you like. Turtle soup, or all kinds of things you can eat that you're not used to at home. Sometimes I order food and I'm like, I don't know what it is, and I don't want to know what it is. It just tastes good. I don't want to know, okay? The 5th thing that's going to shock you about China are the lines. Or I should say the lack of lines. There's so many people that's just a mad rush all the time for a line. So if you're going into the metro in Beijing or Shanghai or getting off, everyone goes at the same time. They don't let people off and then other people come in. The elevator works the same way. It's just a mad rush in and out. And if you're getting in line for anything, whether you're buying ice cream or candies or anything like that, you're going to have that same bam rush kind of thing. So be prepared for, don't leave any space in that line. Be right up on the person in front of you because someone will sneak in front of you. Guaranteed, and that's going to shock you, the lack of lines. Hong Kong, they have lines, don't worry. But mainland, forget about it, okay? The sixth thing that's going to shock you about coming to China is people. There are people everywhere. Guys, there's 1.5 billion Chinese people, okay? You have things like that, so you are going to be surprised how many people there really are and how they really are on top of each other and all over the places and the rickshaws and the bikes and the cars and all kinds of stuff. So be prepared for that to shock you. But it is kind of cool because there are people everywhere, so you're never kind of alone. Anything that's going to shock you about coming to China is the traffic. Guys, traffic goes all the time. Cars going each way, buses and rickshaws and bikes and people and all kinds of stuff. You have to look the entire time when you're crossing. If you don't know how to cross the street, get with a group of Chinese people and wait for them to cross and follow them. And while you go, keep looking because the cars and the buses, they won't stop for you. They'll hit you. Okay, so you really got to pay attention. So sometimes you stop in the middle and you like weave your way through. So be ready for that. So that'll kind of shock you when you're here. The ninth thing that's going to shock you, and for parents this is one of those things, is you'll see little kids pooping and peeing on the streets. And you'll see little kids and they'll have slits in the back of their pants and they'll just squat down and take a dump or take a pee, you know, and the parents just leave it there. Sometimes, like my son, he kept asking about it until he saw at the Forbidden City a dad holding his kid up and the kid's pooping into the trash can through his crack in the pants. And my son never talks about poop anymore. That traumatized.
当初は2年間の中国滞在を計画していた彼らですが、現地の生活で限界を感じてしまい、もうすべて諦めて故郷に帰りたいとまで思い詰めてしまったそうです。しかし、視聴者との大切な約束を果たすため、なんとか踏みとどまりました。そして、新たな生活をスタートさせるべく、次なる目的地である日本へと向かったのです。
日本へ移住して4ヶ月が経った頃、日本がすごいと思った理由というタイトルの動画が投稿されました。
You should definitely come to Tokyo because it is shockingly awesome. And the first thing that's going to shock you when you do come here to Tokyo is just how massive this city is. I mean, 35 to 40 million people live in the greater Tokyo metropolitan area, and you can feel that 35 to 40 million people when you fly in. You're like, oh, are we there yet? Oh, wait, there's more city, there's more city, there's more city. Or you're driving in with the taxis and the futuristic look of the city and stuff like that, or taking the train in and stuff like that. You can feel how huge this place is. Now, another thing that's going to shock you is when you're on the metro. I know I'm focused on this, but they all kind of go together, is how quiet it is on the train. Like when you're out taking the subway around Tokyo, it's quiet. I mean, even rush hour, it's quiet. And it's amazingly quiet when you see all those things. And you're not expecting that when you come to such a huge city. You expect noise and all this kind of stuff here. Oh, no, no, no. You do not have that in Tokyo. It is quiet when you are here, especially on the metro. And another thing that kind of goes along with that when you come here, how much you're going to be shocked is how clean this city is. I mean, I wish my town of 150,000 people were as clean as this 40 million people metropolis. And Tokyo is amazingly clean, from the food to the parks to the metro, the subways, the buses, the stores, all kinds of stuff. And it's just amazing that they can do all that in such a big city. And also it kind of goes along with that. It's clean, but also in Tokyo, you'll be shocked how safe you feel when you're here. Look, I've gone to other mega metropolises like Sao Paulo and in Mexico and all kinds of other places. And I didn't always feel safe when I went to those huge cities. Here, I feel safe going out at night. I feel safe taking my kids out, having cash with me and things like that. And it is really kind of a cool thing, but it's shocking that you could feel so safe in such a big city. But of course, I mean, pay attention like usual tourist stuff, but in general, Tokyo is super safe. And speaking of those convenience stores, another thing that shocked me was the quality of the food and selection of stuff in the convenience stores here in Tokyo. And not just in Tokyo, but in Japan in general. It's amazing because, you know, you go to a convenience store back home, it's like junk stuff. You know you're going to get sick if you get the cooked food. Oh, no, no. Here, the sushi is actually pretty good. There's hot buns and there's hot drinks and cold drinks, but there's actually prepared food stuff that's there. And the thing is, if you want, you can get a packaged soft-boiled egg, individually packaged. The convenience stores are actually super convenient. And since they have the ATMs, and also for you tourists, that's going to be your probably go-to place for breakfast because it's open 24 hours. But the cool thing is the public transport is actually really affordable. Like, I am super pumped about the prices. We spent almost an hour getting from our apartment to here, and it only costs about 260 yen. So like, I don't know, $3 or $250, you know, something like that. I'm like, dang, that is actually pretty cool. Now, another elephant in the room I have to talk about is the shock you will have when you use toilets here in Tokyo. Look, Japan has evolved past normal humans when it comes to toilets. They have not just heated toilet seats, but they come with remote controls. And maybe an instruction manual will be helpful too. But the thing is, you might get shocked when you use the toilet for the first time and the bidet thing comes sticking out and shoots water to clean you off. Okay, so that can be a bit shocking. So just be prepared for that. The thing is, you don't always have the robot toilets everywhere you go. You'll be shocked as how crazy the toilets are here, but also how crazy clean they are as well. Tokyo has very different, distinct parts of the city, and you'll be shocked to know that it doesn't always feel like you're getting smashed up with millions of people. You can find quiet parts of town by yourself. I mean, it's amazing. If you go to the parks, you can go to the green spaces, the shrines, and actually think about it. This is a holiday today. You think this place would be packed, and it is quite busy, but you don't feel like you're smashed. So it's really kind of crazy that it can be so big, yet can feel so small at the same time. And you see all these vending machines. Look, the shock of seeing vending machines literally every other block, or I should say every other half block, so in the block, in the middle of the block, down back alleys, all kinds of stuff, is really a quintessential part of Tokyo. Yes, you'll get your soda there. You might get your snack there. Your kid might want to get a toy there. Maybe you want to get a shirt from one. There are them all over the city, and what's cool is, yes, they'll take your coins, they'll take your bills, sometimes they'll take your metro cards and stuff like that to pay with, and so that's kind of cool. But what I always love is you can get cold and hot stuff when you are there, and that is really neat. And coming from the US where we don't have like cool technology stuff like that, it's kind of one of those things that's shocking, but in a really awesome way. When you actually do come here, is how many sights there are to see in Tokyo. Yes, a town of this size, of course you're gonna have tons of sights, but the museums here, there's such an eclectic mix of museums. If you want a drum museum, they have that. If you want one with Hello Kitty, they have that. If you want my personal favorite, the Tokyo National Museum, that is one you have to go to, or the Tokyo Edo Tokyo Museum to see the history of the city. The Modern Art Museum, the science museums that are here, there's multiple science museums, going out to the island and checking out the futuristic city that's there. There's so many cool things to check out here that you can't do Tokyo in one day. And that's what shocks tourists. They think, oh, I could come for 5 or 6 days. I'll see this city. No, you can't. You'll be shocked how much more there is to see than you can see in 1 week when you are here. So you will definitely come back.
さらにその数日後には、日本のトイレがすごいと絶賛する動画も公開されています。
これを見た海外の視聴者たちからは、どうしてこんなに素晴らしいものが日本にしかないんだと驚きと羨望のコメントが多数寄せられました。
Here I have to figure out the bathroom. So far what I've got is this one is where you go to the bathroom. This one's called the excrement toilet, where you wash off the stuff. You turn the water on and you use this and wash yourself off. Very interesting. But what I love are these. So you have the dryer if you want, the bidet, the spray for your butt. Shoot out, and yes, I can see why they tell you to put the pressure down because, yeah, that can be a bit much. And I understand why they have the stop button there. Okay, so there was that one. I'm going to now move on to the dry my rear button. It says dry and rear, so. Ooh. Oh. Yes, so you can get your butt dried off too. Honestly, the bathrooms here in Japan are so cool. You will use them. I'm just telling you.
すべての旅を終えて、無事に故郷へと帰国した後、彼はある番組にゲストとして出演し、日本での素晴らしい体験について熱く語っています。
Obviously, there must have been something that made you fall in love with Japan that you wanted to stay there. Like, what was that thing that really popped for you? Like, this is the place we want to be.
You know, it's really the culture, it's the people, they're so gentle, and their way of life, the way that they conduct themselves. You know, if you've been to Japan, you'll realize that there's no rubbish bins around. So that is the culture. You pick up your rubbish. You've seen on a lot of the Olympics when Japan had the 2020 or was 2021 Olympics. Yeah, you saw the Japanese spectators. They would pick up their rubbish. They would have such pride in their country. And that first trip that I went to Japan in 2005, we caught the limousine bus from Narita Airport into Tokyo. And interestingly, this is a very good tip that is one of the most cost-effective ways to get from Narita Airport into central Tokyo. It's called a limousine bus. But anyway, from this bus window, I looked out, and as the bus was pulling away from the airport, there was a whole host of workers from the bus company, all wearing white gloves that bowed to the bus as it departed.
That is pretty amazing. I know when we left the airport, the first time we went to Japan, I was with my family, and we had their 12-hour flight plus all the other connection stuff. We get there. I just remember getting in the car, and they're driving, complete silence in the car. But like it was almost like complete silence in the streets. And I'm driving around. I'm like, right now, if I looked at a video that I would think it was AI, because like the streets are so clean, everything was so organized. I'm like, wow, we could just eat off the side of the highway. Like it was just, you're right. It's a completely different experience. I know I felt jealous of Japan. I'm like, wow, why can't our roads be this clean? Why can't our stuff look this nice? Like why can't we keep our things together? I mean, that is really cool.